light comes on.
You want the intro?
No, not just the blue light is, the red light isn't on. And you're recording.
Welcome to the first episode of Brew Bits. I'm Heather Alt, here with Solomon Rose.
Hey guys.
Hey, hey. So Buffalo Wild Wings is kind enough to be our sponsor. Only at your local B-Dubs in Frederick, Urbana, Rockville, Gaithersburg, and Columbia. Wings, beer, sports. You have to be here. So today, for our first episode, we're talking about pumpkin beer and basic bitches. I wasn't sure if we were going to be allowed to say that.
We fought pretty hard for it, so.
Yeah, so we'll try to watch our language. It might be a little hard for us, but so pumpkin beers. The bubble is bursting.
That it is. We gotta get situated here, sorry.
Yeah,
You haven't had enough beers this morning.
yeah. I haven't even popped this.
Yeah.
Where's the opener? I gotta get this thing open.
There you go.
So the history of pumpkin beers would be a good place to start. Pumpkin beers date back to the colonial times. Shout out to the Pilgrims.
Thank God.
We did not have enough barley or enough good quality barley to make good beer, so they quickly realized that pumpkin has fermentable sugars, and they were making pumpkin ales. And believe it or not, they didn't use any spices, no nutmeg, no allspice.
Did they cheat and use squash, or?
Probably if they were making it in July. If their beers came out in July,
Yeah.
those brewers, yeah. So in colonial times, when beers came out in July, that was definitely squash. So it dates back that far. Probably even before, if you want to go back to Native Americans were making beer with corn and pumpkin and squash and all the things that that had fermentable sugars that were plentiful in the U.S. back then. So Buffalo Bill's brewery actually claims they have America's original pumpkin beer. There's a lot of conflicting stories there. They use George Washington's recipe, George Washington's pumpkin beer recipe, and they
So
go back and forth.
Washington.
I'm sorry?
Who gave it to Washington?
Yeah,
So
I
this
don't
the
know.
first.
Did he make it? So isn't that the original? Whatever. So conflicting sources are saying anywhere between 1980 and 1985. I wish we could call the brewmaster over at Buffalo Bill's Brewery. But so it dates back to the colonial times. Then you're back in the 80s. Buffalo Bill's is making this pumpkin beer, which brings us to now. And we have basically dessert in a glass.
It's basically like going to Starbucks and getting the worst possible combination of every spice.
Pumpkin spice
Latte,
that doesn't
yeah.
actually have pumpkin in it.
Right. But they
But then
forgot to put the pumpkin in.
They forgot to ferment it, so they wanted to make a beer now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it tastes like. It's dessert in a glass. There's about probably, so 2014, there's 400 pumpkin beers on the shelf.
So now
Fast
there's
forward to
gotta
2016. I couldn't find a credible source to get that exact number or even close to that
Going
number,
by
but
the
I'm
brewery
guessing.
Going by the brewery rate, you have to be
yeah.
at least double or triple.
Yeah, I'd say at least 1,000. There's 4,000 breweries in the U.S.
That's so disgusting.
Yeah, I mean they're popping up everywhere. Everybody's doing a pumpkin beer. So now, in modern times, there's this pumpkin phenomenon. There's 1,000 pumpkin beers on the shelf, and we're selling less pumpkin beers than we ever had this year. They say the bubble's bursting. I think people are getting tired of it. I think it's a beer that you can't sit and drink all night. Or
Well, and I think it's too the fact that so many of them taste exactly the same.
Right.
Like exactly
the same. So, yeah, that's happening now. I feel like, so what we're drinking today, Solomon, what do you have over there?
I have the Gourd Standard by Flying Dog, which
Oh.
is actually pretty damn good for a pumpkin beer.
So, a lot of breweries are trying to get out of this fad of the dessert in a glass. I mean, there's really good ones. Like, don't get me wrong. Like Pumpkin, Schlafly, like they make good pumpkin beers. It does taste like dessert in a glass. I love drinking them once in October, not in July.
See, this tastes like a manly dessert in a glass.
A manly dessert?
Like, not like too spiced up, not too easy on the tongue. It tastes like a good little kick at the end.
Yeah, so it's it's actually a pumpkin IPA, so it's not an ale. There are spices in it, but there's Hallertau and Herzbrucker hops. They definitely give it that kick that I guess us hopheads are looking for when we're drinking a beer. So yeah, let me taste it. I haven't even had it yet this year.
So another thing I was thinking about was the fact that it seems like all these pumpkin beers are hitting the shelves like in like August or like mid-August. It's crazy how like early they're coming. Has that always been that way, or is that like? I mean, you're the sales, so I gotta refer to you on this one.
No, so last year, before the end of July, there were pumpkin beers on the shelf.
No.
Yeah. They're this year, I think that it's still stuck around August 1st, just because I think brewers are getting a little scared about that bubble bursting. But last year it was definitely July. I felt like that was
Not even,
too early.
shouldn't
And
even
those
be
are the big
legal.
guys that I think Pumpkin, and the ones that just sell a ton all season long. They like to be first on the shelf, so I mean, and there is something to be said for being first on the shelf.
So what about the pumpkin phenomenon? What about if you think of the typical pumpkin drinker? What do you see? I mean, I know what I see, but what do you see? If you could pick one out of the crowd, what would they look like?
You're gonna make me say this. So it's about to be Han Solo.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
tall boots, puffy vest.
The little tiny puffy vest.
Yeah. The girls, they love it.
Hoodies
I mean,
that go over the top of the vest into the back.
yeah.
So it's like they want to be warmer, but they don't have enough on to keep them warm. So they had to put something over rather than just wearing a
Just
jacket.
layers and layers.
Yeah.
So, that we were just already talking about the pumpkin spice lattes. I feel like you could go on and on like Bubba with Forrest
There
Gump.
was a
Pumpkin spice latte, pumpkin spice pancakes, pumpkin spice muffins. Yeah,
there's
so
a ton of them.
there's just so many things, and I feel like that definitely plays into this bursting bubble, if you will.
Yeah,
People
sure.
are just it's getting to be played out. But the good pumpkin beers will always stick around.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
think
we're
so
gonna have a problem there. So
One thing that we wanted to do, there's a great guy that you work with. It's funny because his real name is Chris Farley.
his real name is actually Chris Farley.
Actually, I'll have to bring a ID to prove it to you guys.
Yeah, we will next episode for sure.
But so he does a thing over at Flying Dog Brewery that's the question of the day. So we want to start doing this since our show's going to be every Friday. By the way, this is our first one at 10 o'clock and will be our only one. From here on out, we're going to move back down to like 5 p.m. You guys hop in your truck after a long day of work on your way to the bar, get pumped to go drink some beers with your friends, and tune us in. But anyways, so what Chris does is he comes up with a question every Friday at the Flying Dog Brewery. And we want to pose that question to all you guys listening, and we're going to post it on our Brew Bits page right now. And you guys go throughout the show and put your favorite answer in, and we're going to come back at the end of the show, and we're just going to kind of wrap the end of our show up picking our favorite one. So we're going to make fun of you if you got a really bad answer. If you got a really good answer, then we're going to hook you up with something. I think this week we have a tour of Flying Dog with a full flight of beer paid for.
For you and 3 friends.
For you and 3 friends. So keep up with these as we go through the episodes. We're going to keep trying to give out cool stuff at the end and answer the questions. So Heather, what's the question of the day?
So I just published it, and now let me a little backstory on these questions. It could be anything from the basic, like if you could have a beer with anyone now or in the past or in history, or if you could be a cartoon animal. I mean, it's going to be pretty basic. What we're looking for here is just the best answer, creativity. The why is definitely what we want you to answer. So today, I just published, if you could be anything in nature, animal, tree, plant, flower, wolf, cow, elephant, oak tree, daisy.
Sloth.
What was sloth?
Rape sloth.
What would you be and why? So I've just put that up on the Brew Bits Facebook page, so feel free to comment, share, call your friends, come up with a good answer so you can get that tour and free flights for you and 3 friends.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And not like flights to California, like flights of beer.
Flights of beer.
That's
That's four samples. But we have a lot more on tap, so please partake in that too when you're there. So, did you want to go into harvest beers?
Yeah, we could. Do you want to do a liner and take a little break real quick, or?
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead. All right. So as you know, this show is brought to you by B-Dubs. Only at your local B-Dubs in Frederick, Urbana, Rockville, Gaithersburg, and Columbia. Wings Beer Sports. You have to be here. For the entire month of October, Buffalo Wild Wings is raising money for the Boys and Girls Club. They'll be taking donations all month long. Ask your server for details.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, kind of keeping on the same tilt of the time of season and what we talk about, which is probably what this show's going to end up being a lot about, is kind of what's going on in the brewing world now. And please always feel free to hit us up on our Facebook page. We'll have Twitter and Instagram next week. But hit us up if there's any topics you want us to cover. If there's anything you think we're missing, anything you'd just like us to hear our stupid opinion on, it'd be awesome. But what we're going to talk about now is harvest beers. So this time of year, for y'all that don't know me, my name's Solomon Rose. I own a company called Organarchy Hops. We do hop processing, pelletizing, and grow hops, obviously, and everything else. So harvest time for us is a very, very busy season. I literally just got done the last farm processing 2 days ago, and now we're moving right into pelletizing and packaging. But this is my favorite time of year because it's the time of year where I get to go out and taste beers that are literally as close to the vine as you can get. Wet hopped, dry hop, like right away additions, things that are just new. I mean, even some pumpkin stuff, if you can get it out at the right time, can be very fresh. So I was going through just kind of having fun with figuring out what can I talk about with harvest beers, and I came across an article. It was like the top 100 harvest beers coming out this year. And I started going down through and kind of making a checklist over which ones I wanted to try, and I started seeing some pretty good names.
Oh no.
Yeah, some really good names. Well, here's the funny thing: is I hate so many breweries are like, "This is our harvest ale. It's a fresh hop Simcoe ale," and that's it.
Well, yeah. It's Simcoe. Yep. That's what.
And I'm just like, well, where's the creativity? I mean, you gotta get.
Everybody can't be fine, though.
Dude, I'm telling you, as you can tell.
What's Simcoe?
So Simcoe is like a type of hops, for those that don't know. And a lot of these do have to do with what hop is in there. So I'll kind of explain it as they go. But we'll go through my like 5 picks of the best name, and then a couple like other ones, and chime in and add what you want, because there's some pretty good ones. Oregon Cities took it off the bat. Like, this is probably the one that made me be like, oh, we should do something about the names. But theirs is, I did it all for the Chinooki, which is pretty rad. I mean, if you're like an old school like Limp Bizkit like me, when I was like 11 years old, Limp Bizkit was.
Can't be old school.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, well, if you're looking at your core audience, most of them, like, being like 21 to 35,
Yeah.
have no effing clue.
Oh yeah,
what
exactly.
that references. But, I mean, hey.
You had a better chance explaining Simcoe.
Yeah, exactly. So that one is from Oregon City. It gets released on October 1st, I believe. So look out for that one. It's their fresh hop. It
That's
just
what
says.
I love about these beers. Like, they come out when the hops are ready.
Yeah.
Like, there's
That's-
no, like, I'm going to be first to market. And, well, that's another thing with the pumpkin beers. Where are they getting pumpkin in July? So, I mean, we get ours from McCutcheon's in Frederick, Maryland, which
Right.
is local to the brewery. And I'm with Flying Dog, if I haven't said that yet. I think
I think you've referenced it a few times.
Okay. So, yeah, where are they getting that? And is it really maybe a different type of pumpkin, or is it frozen? Is it, it's just, it's.
And I've heard of
kinda
things
crazy
like squash used.
Yeah,
that
and I
do
mean,
the
it's
same.
still pumpkin.
It does
It's
the
a type
same
of-
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but no, that
Just so
was
y'all
great.
know, Kimberly's already drunk this morning. She wanted to pass that on.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Kim's drunk.
Come
Great,
over to the
great.
bar.
Come on, kid.
So the cool thing about all these, like I said, is it's the 100. Like these are all fresh hop editions. So these are all either wet hop editions or like right after harvest. So all of these do have release dates. I put down some of the release dates. If I didn't put down the release date, I think they're out now or will be like within the next week and a half. Pretty much all of these. The next one was Three Creeks. They have a cone liquor.
Cone liquor.
Yeah, it's just a little perverted. It wasn't my favorite, but I had to go through and be like, well, I have to add that one. It's a fresh hop ale with Centennial.
So many words that, like, when they had that conversation, when they were having that marketing meeting about what are we
Yeah.
gonna call,
Cone liquor.
yeah, and I get it, it's a hot cone, but like, what words were used in that marketing meeting in
Yeah.
place of
Cone? Yeah.
Like, I'll leave that all
Yeah.
up to everyone's imagination now.
Yeah, everyone can go way with that where
That
they
could
want
go,
to.
yeah, that could,
Then we have Lampock Brewing. They have Fresh Hop Death Punch, which is a reference to Five Finger Death Punch, which is a good band.
Great band.
They support the troops always. The singer's kind of a kook, I've heard, but other than that,
yeah.
he's like kind of like
Five
a little
Finger Death Punch.
aggro.
Oh, that singer's probably normal.
Yeah,
It's
not really.
normal, no.
Yeah, he's a little kooky, but so that was a good one. And then the other one that caught my eye was Good Life Brewing Company. So think Good Life, and it's just called 150 Hippies. So I'm like, what? Like, and this is just listed. So I had to go on their website, and this is a description. It says locally grown crystal hops plus donated hops from 150 local hippies.
Where is this brewery? Do you know?
That's
where
one
they-
thing I didn't write down. They're probably in
I
like
don't-
Washington.
I think
or
I've
something.
met like in life in person, even working for a brewery, maybe 10 to 20 people that actually grow hops that you can use in beer. Some people grow it and it just never gets to be usable.
Yeah, they're in Oregon.
So,
that's
okay.
probably
Yep,
very
yeah,
feasible.
okay, yep, that makes sense.
Very
If they're in Oregon,
feasible.
maybe they did find 150 hippies to donate hops, but that is definitely a new one for me. I've never heard anything like
But
that.
yeah, that was a funny thing when I read it because I was like, man, hippies. So the first thing I think of is like, you know, like that one really bad like one night stand in Burning Man where you wake up next to the person that's like completely smells like onions and garlic. So that's like what I think. And then I'm like, man, I tell like when we go out to people's hop yards and I'm like, you can tell when a hop is way late because it immediately is just like that pungent like oniony garlic, and I'm like,
It's a
I
hippie hop.
pray that like it doesn't, the beer itself doesn't smell like that because that would be freaking.
Your thought is
horrible.
way different than the average person. The hippie at Burning Man was not the first one that dropped up on everybody.
That was
You're
the
gonna
first
get-
one. That was the
You're
first
getting yelled
one.
at when you get home.
I wasn't at Burning Man this year, by the way. Let's see what else we got here.
Hey, they said that way less, and Abergen out of on the West Coast said there's way less pumpkin beers on the West Coast than there are on the East Coast. Y'all had any insight on that?
There's so many
The
more
climate?
basic bitches out here. I mean, the climate?
No, that's why you guys have more hops and we have less hops, but
Yeah.
we're getting more, as Solomon proves all the time. But no, maybe just
The Pilgrims didn't make it out there.
well, no, I'm thinking in California, if they're in the Pacific Northwest, I don't know why, but if they're in California
Yeah.
and it's warm all of the time,
Where's the Pacific
it's
Northwest?
like not really fall.
Where
Like
is
in
that?
San Diego, it's fall.
Yeah,
but
my
it's
question
not
to you
fall.
guys-
They're not looking.
Pacific Northwest, Washington State,
It's
all that,
Oregon, Washington.
all that area, Idaho.
But
That's
up
where
there,
that's where like 90% of hops
Yeah.
are grown.
Yeah.
and up
They have
there
the
is
climate
where
for
people are probably way looking forward to harvest ales this time of year rather than anything else.
Oh yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
mean,
the harvest
up
ale,
there,
the fresh hops,
you're
yeah.
talking about
Oh,
a fresh hop ale on every corner.
What's the difference between harvest and pumpkin?
Harvest is.
Don't they harvest
I mean, you can
pumpkins?
put pumpkin in
Yeah,
your harvest.
yeah, it's the
It's
same.
probably
It's the same thing. We're just when we say like harvest versus a pumpkin beer. Pumpkin beer is definitely like just that pumpkiny, spicy type thing. A harvest ale, we're looking at like wet hop additions and pretty much an IPA, but a very like
So
smooth
let's back up to
IPA.
exactly what a wet hop
Yeah.
is. So, or wet hop ale. So, someone like Solomon grows his hops. He harvests them. They still are resiny and wet. They haven't been dried out yet. So they're fresh right off the vine, not dried out, resiny, wet. So then you take them straight to the brewery. Like literally, a shout
This
out to
has to
Tom
be-
Bars. Like the first year we did one, we do one called Secret Stash.
Mhm.
You're welcome for the good name.
Yeah, that's a good name.
We literally took them in huge trash bags the first year. Now this is 4 years, 4 or 5 years ago.
I think it was
the
4
first
years
time?
ago. Yeah.
So they right off the vine, wet in the trash bag, and took them as we were already brewing the beer. So like, put them in your trunk, put them in the back of your trucks. Let's go. Like
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. It's in real time. Like you can't
And
make
so
a
it's
wet hop
actually-
ale before the
Right.
hops are actually ready.
And it's
So-
actually a massive market in the hop industry too. I was reading an article the other day that said the UPS station in Washington, like right near the valley, they said that it is their busiest time of year over Christmas, any holiday. The busiest time is them sending out because you basically have 48 hours and the cones start to break down. So you can do things like they pack them with dry ice and things like that, which will preserve them a little bit. But that's another hard thing about these ales is hops can come in 3 weeks different than they did last year. So when you sign a contract with a big grower out west, they could just call you and say, hey, they're going to be there tomorrow, you have to brew. So you better have open fermentation room, you better be able to clear a couple tanks and get rolling on it because you're only really going to have one shot at it. So that's more or less like what a wet hop. It's kind of like a down to the minute. This is as fresh as we can get it. Here it goes. This time of year. Trying to think. So my favorite one is by Solera Brewery, and it's the Bunny Lebowski, and it's called I'm Just Gonna Find a Cash Machine, which is freaking amazing. If you've ever watched the Big Lebowski and watched that scene, I think she says something like, I'll suck your blank for $1,000. And he looks at her and he's all, okay. And he's all getting hustled out of the mansion. He's all, I'm just going to go find a cash machine. I'll be right back. It's so funny. So that was like one of my favorite ones. And I would love to try that one. So if anyone knows how to get a hold of that one, send it to me. And then we had a couple Star Wars references. Falling Sky does a Boba Tet, which was good.
What type of hops are those made with?
Trying to think here. Tetnang.
Yeah. That's what I was getting at.
That's who you're getting at. Trying to see. And then the other one is from Lewitt Brewing, and it's the Lando Hoppercyan, after Lando Calrissian.
Mm-hmm.
So those of y'all that don't know, he was the original owner of the Millennium Falcon before Han Solo, and he lost it in a card game or something. But he ended up coming back and being a general for the Jedi Alliance. Is that dorky? Is that dorky enough?
I mean,
Okay.
that's
Anyways.
all
We know you didn't see it till it was the remastered edition.
Yeah. I was a little young.
Yeah, you weren't even around.
No, not even close. But that's it for the brewery names and the wet hop stuff. So I hope everybody kind of has a understanding on wet hop beers and things like that. And if you guys find any more awesome names, please post them on our page and let us know. Because I love seeing names. And like I said, we could have gone through a list of just beer names and probably sat here for 5 hours. But we'll try and keep it specific and maybe every month or so come up with a few good release names and get back to that. But
I just
how are
looked at our
people?
question of the day, and
No
you're
one's
liking
answering
it,
the
but no one's
question?
answering
No one's
it.
answering.
No one. They just must not be creative enough today. I would think of it being Friday, like 10 o'clock, your minds are fresh.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
not.
fine. Nobody's excited about
It's
it.
hard to be a tree when you're not drunk. You
This
gotta,
is true.
if you ask that question next Friday around 5:50.
Oh, yeah, they'll be
Yo,
up.
I'm a butterfly.
It'll blow up.
I want to be a bird so I can fly.
I will tell you though that Megan Sparks, she wanted you to know that that's her beer that she was asking about, and she needs that. She also loves if you're drinking at 10 a.m.
Oh,
Oh,
Megan
Lord.
probably does love that I'm drinking at 10 a.m. I'm sure she's home with her 2 kids right now, I'm sure. Wishing that she was sitting here drinking beer with
This is a good place to be.
Oh, Dave Finley wants to be a rain cloud. He does. That's why his name's Trailer. He doesn't ride his bike.
But he didn't say why.
He didn't say why.
Oh, my. So anyways, as we
So-
keep rolling here,
Yeah, just want to mention Buffalo Wild Wings again. Thanks for sponsoring the show.
heck yeah.
Yeah, stop in Buffalo Wild Wings. Check out their new craft beer menu. Order a flight for just $8. Lots of refreshing, palate-pleasing craft beers to choose from. Only at your local B-Dubs in Frederick, Urbana, Rockville, Gaithersburg, and Columbia. Wings Beer Sports. You have to be here.
Dang.
We were actually
We do
there
have to
Sunday.
do
Sunday. We were there.
Yeah, we were there Sunday.
Urbana.
Yeah, in Urbana. But this is the other thing. We're gonna do a tap takeover coming up soon at a BWW.
Are
Which
we?
one?
We are.
So yeah, the one in Frederick.
One in Frederick.
We haven't worked out the tap takeover like quite yet.
Quite solid.
But
we're
December
working on
8th, yeah, so it's still far away, so we don't know exactly what's gonna be on tap. But December 8th, we're gonna do a live Brew Bits. 4 or 5, what,
I think probably 5.
5, we'll do a happy hour show. And that's gonna be our normal time. We're not normally gonna be drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning.
But we will be drinking at 5 o'clock.
Maybe someone does. I'm usually not with him at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll have to ask his wife, Lee, can you
She would.
hit me up on Facebook and let me know.
Let
Yeah.
you know.
No, but so it'll normally be the 5 o'clock happy hour time, and our first live show is December 8th at Buffalo Wild Wings in
And as
Frederick.
soon as we get everything ironed down, we'll put a big post out and let everybody know. But it'd be sweet to have a good showing out there to keep us entertained. And you guys will love a live show because we'll just have everybody come up and talk to us, and it'll just be like this. We got a couple people in here just hanging out, shooting the shit.
We'll bring some fun guests. We'll talk
yeah.
about everything that's on tap. And Buffalo Wild Wings always has a good craft selection. They always do a good job with that. So yeah, come out and hang out with us that night. So, what are you doing this evening? It's Friday.
Bachelor party.
There it is.
Well, I have a bachelor party because I have another wedding. So this is like probably 8 weddings. I would have been great at just my wedding
Yeah.
because that was an awesome wedding. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it was mine. But yeah, so this is the last one of the year, and this is why we're doing it at 10 o'clock a.m.
Yep. So I have a wedding tonight to
Right.
go to
See,
as
this
well.
horseshit.
Wow.
I know it's literally I've had it for the month of September I've had a wedding every weekend except one.
I think basic bitches get married in October.
Yeah.
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 Sweaters.
Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Y'all wear
They
your
serve pumpkin
outfits.
spice lattes at your wedding. No, that's the thing. So it's coming to the end of wedding season, and
It
we're
is.
both in our 30s, so that's about the time where you go to weddings constantly. It seems like.
Constantly.
Also
And it
the
is
mom.
like the home of horrible beer.
Yeah.
Like I was at like 2 weddings, one being mine that had good beer. I plan tomorrow's is most likely gonna have good beer. I haven't seen the selection, but knowing by the guy
By
who's
the way,
getting
we're
married.
never gonna say what bad beer is.
Right. Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, we're just gonna say that
We're-
it is less palatable.
Yeah.
beer.
So it's not bad beer. It's
No.
beer that I drink sometimes.
Right.
It's beer that I drink when I'm tailgating and when I'm gonna
Right.
be at a wedding for 5 hours.
It's beer that I drink like when my tractor breaks down, I'm throwing things, and I just need to chug like 8 beers in a row to like fill myself up and calm down a little bit.
Yo,
Right.
somebody, Joshua Clark, he wants to be the beagle on his farm. Because
And
he
what,
lives,
I also want to be a beagle on your farm.
he lives like thug life.
Joshua Clark, that is thug life. I also want to be a beagle
Oh
on
yeah,
your farm.
Clark.
So right now you got a choice between a beagle and a rain cloud. Enjoy your picks
What
for
is
the
the
tour.
reasoning? What's the reasoning?
Yeah, I don't reason for the rain cloud?
I don't
I don't know. Let me get back. Like I
You
told
wanna
you,
ruin
Trailer,
his bike.
trailer. Tell us why.
Shit. Like every day, I just want to rain on you. I want to rain on your parade. I want to ruin your day.
Trailer is a
ruin your
grumpy
wedding.
bastard.
Yeah.
No,
He
also-
is grumpy. He's got one of those. He's got one of those little meme characters. That's this bald guy with the massive head, and it looks exactly like him, and every time he texts me with one of
You talking
them,
about
it's just
the
him being
Dominion?
like, yeah,
Yeah, I knew
like
she
all
was
super
fat.
grumpy. He's so awesome. Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah, so actually, Kristen, who's getting married tonight, she works at Flying Dog as well. She's our HR girl. I think she's pretty bummed about the forecast.
Oh yeah, because it's
Yeah.
gonna rain.
I
like
mean,
hard.
that just ruined your wedding. But I'm thinking, are we still gonna party tonight? Are we still gonna have beer?
Well, that's
You
what
get
they
married,
make tents
it's
for.
inside
right?
a tent, or I know
Yeah.
it's like the day of our dreams, and as long as you're married to the
That's
person
not a good
that you love at the end of the day, it was a good wedding.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was the good thing about the day when my wife and I got married. Me and her were like, for some reason, we just completely didn't care about anything that day.
Because you were drunk.
That's right.
4 days
And
straight.
so was she.
Who takes
4
a
days
shot of
straight.
Jameson as their toaster?
That's true. Our
When you
our
slip and
toast
slide
in
naked
front
that
of
night,
everyone
that's a
was shot
good
of
party.
Jameson. It was pretty rad. So that was a good one. But they thought it was gonna rain, and then it like just missed it and
The
disappeared.
skies opened up.
Yeah,
the
just
sun
party.
came out,
Just-
yeah.
just meant
That's
to
what's
be.
gonna happen for you, Kristen. I know you guys are listening to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I got
Yeah.
two things for you. Dave Penley wants to be a rain cloud so you can piss on everyone. and,
That sounds like a fetish you should continue.
Yeah, dude.
and Jeremy Poland wants to know will we ever see the dance off between Heather and Longhorn on the show.
Good
He's
happens.
actually here right now.
Yeah.
At some point. So,
I don't know if the bar
Solomon
can
and
handle
I
it.
were at the same wedding this past weekend. Shout out to Jess and Justin
Yeah.
Short.
Oh,
That was an awesome
Congratulations.
wedding.
It was one
They
of
had good beer.
They had Flying Dog.
They
weren't
hibiscus
basic bitches.
grapefruit radler was
Grapefruit.
literally served at the ceremony.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. But it was a really, really fun wedding. When you were talking about shots,
Probably.
I had a flashback to me and you standing at the bar. The signature drink was moonshine.
Apple pie moonshine.
Apple pie moonshine. It was the real deal. And we were served about 4 ounces
Yeah, it was like it
in
was
a
like
glass
that
when we
much.
ordered it. And so we thought it was gonna be a shot. So we were like, whatever. So we put it back, and the bartender looks at us and goes, guys, that's a drink, not a shot. So
I was
I
like,
mean,
thanks for the
needless to
clarification.
say-
Can I get another?
Yeah, yeah.
And we went right
needless
back
to say,
into it.
after that, we did a couple more, and I got in a dance off with our good friend Rob Reed.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't think
It
it
That
was
was a
the
good
best.
one.
It was a good dance off. Very
It
good.
really
He's
was.
got moves, but Mama can shake it. So
You can't
I
shake
won.
it. I'll hand it to you.
It was at that point of night. I'm surprised everyone was standing, let
How was
alone
that?
dancing
But there was-
well.
You were Batman.
How's
Yeah.
that now?
Batman dad over there.
Yeah, Fat Dad was in full effect that night.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But that's a typical thing. I mean, like if you show up to a wedding, like everyone that showed up to my wedding, not that I could tell if you were drunk or not, because I
It
was
was
so
a
drunk.
week-long
But like
wedding.
I would feel like I failed if you didn't get completely hammered in my wedding. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of hand in hand with
Yeah.
weddings. I mean,
You didn't fail.
yeah, I think everybody got wasted.
Nah,
in mine.
not even.
We had a lot of really good beers on tap. We
yeah,
had like
for sure.
Old Mother, Flying
Well,
Dog.
you know a couple breweries.
A couple.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
so-
a few.
I can only
So shout out to those guys for making that happen. That was awesome.
I had a ton of craft beer, and then I put a keg of Easy on tap just to.
Dude, that reminds me is you remember Kenneth, my cousin,
Yeah.
Kenneth McFawn?
Of course.
He had a keg of Double Dog at his wedding.
That's 11%.
Yeah, and no one knew what it was, and I mean there were.
So like you had like old people just
Yeah.
hammered.
No, I personally watched everyone eat with my shirt off on the tailgate of my truck, blacked out, and don't remember. I saw a picture, and I was like,
Double
keeping it
Dog.
classy, Double
Public
Dog.
service announcement. Double Dog is a nightcap, guys.
Yeah.
That's what.
Do not go to.
Do not put that on tap at your wedding.
no.
Not a good wedding. beer.
Don't go tailgating, and don't start drinking it at 1 o'clock because you will be asleep by maybe 3,
Yeah.
possibly 2:30.
If you're Danny, you're asleep out the first one.
Yeah. So put good beer on tap at your weddings, guys.
Yeah.
Don't skip on that.
Seriously,
it's-
it does make a big
It's
difference.
right up there
Huge
with like the good meal.
Yeah. I think as we are evolving as a humankind, less people are looking at flowers and more people are looking at what you're drinking. So just kind of ease your fiance into that and take that conversation very easily. But you can always skimp on the flowers and pump up the beer or the
You can ask my
moonshine.
husband. I didn't have flowers. I nixed that. Like, what flowers are you getting? Absolutely none. Like, everybody's looking at me like, what? My mom's like, Heather. I'm like, bouquet? Nope, no bouquets, no flowers, none of that.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
drunk.
I'm writing my beer
And
list.
then we'll add that
And
one.
my sister's like, when are you
that
going to get a
one.
dress? I'm like, oh shit, a dress. I have to wear a dress. Like,
That's-
no, we did it at a farm.
That
It was
comes with the
casual. It literally on the invitation it said, are you in or what? Like,
Nice.
just let me know.
Nice.
Email me. I don't give a shit how you tell me, but let me know.
Just let me know at some point.
Hey, Journey wants to
Yes.
know if you want a good pumpkin beer for Halloween, is it too late to mash it? I have no clue what that means, just repeat what Journey asked.
Say it again.
He wants to know if you want a good pumpkin, whoa, something dropped in. If you want a good pumpkin beer for Halloween, is it too late to mash it? I think Journey just wishes he
I
could
think,
mash
I
something.
think he's like saying he wants to smash it and then make it into a pumpkin beer is what he's trying to do.
If he's talking about mashing.
He's probably mashing in and seeing if it'll ferment in time.
Yeah, I mean, I think most, I
Fair.
know.
I'll tell him
Kenny's
no,
like,
no,
I have
no,
no
no.
idea
Yo.
any of this terminology. What are you
Yo.
guys talking about, you beer nerds?
Got a new answer for you. CJ Talmadge, he wants to be a Sasquatch. Fucking with white people for centuries, manhunt champion, definitely doesn't pay taxes. Jack up LeBron 101, knows all the best hunting spots. Stronger than a mountain, the mountain from Game of Thrones, and can drink Andre Giant under the table.
There
That's
it is.
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
that-
This is what
that's
we're
what
looking
This
for.
is what we're.
That's how you live free tour.
Yeah. So guys, you need to step up your answers and start
Yeah.
getting online with that.
I'm gonna have to talk to him about the best hunting spots. It's
So
also bow season. Like that's what fall brings. When I think of fall, and I think about our basic bitches we were talking about.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like
Is
my
Sasquatch
sister's a
a
girly
basic bitch?
girl. I'm not calling you a basic bitch, Ashley. I'm sorry, but you're a girly girl and you love all of those things. And I think I
So
love
you don't
friends
wear
that
Uggs to the
do. But
tree
I think
stand?
about bow season.
You
Not
don't
that
wear
I'm
Uggs?
going out to bow hunt. No, I'm not thinking about it. That's all. But my husband will, and I like deer meat.
Yeah.
I think about deer meat,
Yeah.
deer jerky, deer bologna,
Hell
all
yeah.
that good stuff. Because we are overpopulated people. Let's
Yes,
get out there
we
and
are.
hunt this season. I think
The
about
more deer we leave alone, the more cars they hit purposely.
if
So
we could
just
make beer
think
out
about
of
that.
deer, we would
Oh,
do
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
We need to do
100%.
no.
Hops,
Like
Like backstrap,
Yeah.
backstrap ale. Oh, that'd be so good. I would drink the shit out of
Backstrap
that.
porter. That's
God.
dark as night.
Yeah.
That would be good. So I think about bow season, football, bow season deer, football. Football's back in. We have them sports boys on this station too. Going to be talking
Yeah.
a lot about that this season.
Dude, and another one that's on this station is the Two Fools on Stools. And they, UFC 205. I probably haven't been excited for a lineup like that. I thought 200 was good, but that one is going to take the cake.
Yeah.
And they're doing, Danny, where are you guys doing yours at?
That's gonna be in Rockville, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's all the fun with none of the
Saturday.
cost. UFC is November 12th.
November
at 7
12th.
p.m.
At 7 p.m. And you guys will be live there the whole time?
Live and drunk.
Drinking good beers at Buffalo
Yeah.
Wild Wings.
Yeah.
Us flying
Heck
dogs
yeah.
at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Heck yeah.
See how this whole sponsorship thing works well together?
Blood orange ale on tap. And with Danny will be Zach Davis.
Yeah.
He's actually my coach. He was in the UFC for a little
Yeah.
stint, and he knows they definitely know their stuff. So and they're fun.
Definitely.
They're both a little nuts.
Yeah.
So that's always fun.
He wants, Jeremy Poland was talking about mash in.
Yeah. So mashing in is literally when you're taking the grains, they're getting milled and cracked, and you're sparging with the hot water, and you're mashing in the beer. So I would say that most modern pumpkin beers, you're not even looking at pumpkin in the mash. It's
No.
added later. We're
Yeah.
talking.
Is it artificial flavors?
No.
I'll already get
Well, I'm
pissed.
sure some of them are.
Oh,
Like
yeah, I
pumpkin
guarantee
spice
you.
lattes that we were talking about.
You can't
no
just find
pumpkin. No
Yeah.
pumpkin in
Yeah.
pumpkin
You
spice
can't find a
lattes.
pilgrim anywhere nowadays. That has
Yeah. I
pumpkin
know.
beer.
No.
Yeah, so no pilgrims, no mashing it. So the pilgrims would have mashed in with pumpkin. Modern times, you're looking at adding the pumpkin additions in fermentation or in the bright tank. And the bright tank is where the finished beer is. So it's getting carved in there.
I don't understand who the first person was that said, yo, this shit rotted, let's drink it.
It's not.
Oh,
it's not so much that it's
forever.
rotting. It's that. So it's. I'm sure it was an accident. I'm
Forever.
sure it was an accident because these pilgrims and these Indians are not sitting
Yeah.
around like, hey, I bet that pumpkin has fermentable sugars in it. we're just
Yeah.
gonna put some yeast in
Well,
it.
they could have
Just
known
like our farm
from, I
conversation
mean,
the
from
other
way
day.
back when and coming from England. I mean, every single abbey made mead,
Right.
so they knew that it was something
What's an
sweet. Mead? It's
No,
like
abbey.
huh?
What is
An
an
abbey?
abbey?
Where monks live?
An abbey's where a monk lives. So every British person had an abbey.
No.
No.
I mean, they all had. That's what they refer
There we
to.
go.
Oh my
That's
god.
your answer.
I could be.
No, so-
I could be way off, but that's what they. That's where.
In Belgium, they
Yeah.
still brew beer today.
Yeah, they
You've got
still
West
brew
Lebanon,
there.
West Mall, Orval.
The monks brew.
There's
Yes.
So they meditate and brew.
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
their main form of income.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we-
they
we
have to
talked
brew.
That's
about
how
that
it
when the
was.
show
That's how it
started.
was forever. That's why I was saying like mead and stuff
They
like
brew
that. They were
table
always
beers. They're
beekeepers.
called table beers. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
We
Remember
talked about this before the show
beekeepers,
started.
let me
That's how they
finish
keep
this
thought.
themselves.
remember beekeepers,
Going.
but let me finish this thought. They brew table beers. So when they go on their fasts, when they're not eating for like whatever religious reason,
Yep.
I know nothing about religion, but
But you
they
see
still
Jesus.
drink beer, and the beer is enough for them to
Did you know
stay
it's a
alive.
scientific fact
Pork
there's a
chop
pork
in
chop in
your
every beer?
There's a scientific fact that there's a
Yes,
pork
it is.
chop
It was
in
proven.
every beer. I've never heard that.
It's
one.
science.
It's science. It's proven.
I love science.
Longhorn's dad told us.
Yeah.
many moons ago.
Many moons ago, back
Many
in the
moons
50s.
ago, Longhorn's dad told him
But
it's okay
only
not
with,
to eat
with
and drink
Rainier
beer.
beer, where beer
I
was
like
come
that.
in Washington State, Rainier beer has enough calories of a pork chop. So Dad always drank a pork chop 6-pack every day.
Nice. Nice.
Didn't have to eat dinner.
Yeah.
No eating necessary.
So when you said beekeeper,
Yeah.
and Megan Sparks chimed in on that's the beer I was talking about. That's the beer.
Broke her lights.
Yeah, I
Broke
know.
her lights.
It's good, you're still lit by.
You still look great.
There went the light.
We're professionals, people.
Yeah, we got it down.
So she was actually talking about bee beer. So
Right.
Flying Dog has the Brewhouse Rarities series.
So how did the brew house rarities start?
Just real quick though, to answer your question, Matt Bogby wants you to know that the monk's beer was called a Trappist beer.
Right.
Yes, they are. They're Trappist
Trappist.
monks.
That's you trap it. You trap
Yeah,
it
well, some people even
in your
make.
monastery.
there's
That's why your
breweries-
ass go hungry.
There's breweries that make abbey
Trappist.
beers that aren't actual monastery breweries. They're made like
Now it's a
the
style.
abbey, and there's like
basically.
triples and doubles. And
You gotta be
quads.
drunk tonight to
Duels.
leave to go get something to eat. 'Cause I ain't fasting for shit. I just
Yeah.
had an omelet brought outside. So.
Yeah, I get hangry.
Yeah, I get real hungry.
All right, so Brewhouse Rarities. Every year, Flying Dog goes up to the mountains. We spend a whole day pitching ideas for beers that we want to see made in the following year.
Nice.
So basically,
So is this like any employee?
any employee? It could be
Oh, nice.
shout out to Seneca at the front desk, or anyone in accounting, or a brewer, or the cellarman, or anybody
Satch.
in production. Satch,
My
the
man,
maintenance
dude.
man, yeah.
Calling
He's
him
awesome.
out.
Oh,
He's
sorry,
my
brewery
favorite.
engineer. Like, he definitely does. He does a lot for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even Satch can pitch a beer. I don't think he ever has. You better get on that, Satch. So we go up, and I think this kind of originated from the brewers getting tired of everybody going, "Hey, you know what you should make? You know what you should make?"
Yeah.
And everybody has their ideas, but they want everybody's ideas to be heard. So we take this day. You get a 2-minute pitch, and yes, I do sit there with a timer, and you get
Nice.
like the hook off stage. Yeah. So you get 2 minutes to pitch the beers that you want to see made, and then after that, our team of brewers and marketers and salespeople get together and pick the styles that we think would be great for that following year. So we've done 8 in the past. We're doing 6 in 2017.
Nice.
Matt Brophy's calling me right now, and I would answer that, but
Try answering. I don't know if you picked up. Just hold it right to the mic.
I'm gonna put you on speaker, Matt.
Yeah, I got you on speaker too here with David Walter.
Hey.
Hey, listen, we're a little bit of a pitch with a lot of can orders. So
Hey, hold on, Matt.
That's not what I'm
Which Matt Brophy, COO of Brewmaster of Flying Dog, say hey, Matt. Hey, I'm talking about Brewhouse Rarities right now,
That was good.
and I just literally said your name. That you're sick of people telling you what kind of beers to make.
Oh God.
So, let me finish telling this story. Alright, thanks, Matt. Bye.
Cracking that whip.
Well,
Oh Lord, that's probably gonna happen a lot.
Yeah, that's probably gonna happen a lot.
Especially if it wasn't Friday morning and it was Friday evening.
Yeah.
We will normally be on air.
Yeah, it will definitely.
Yeah. So.
you might
Anyway.
want to send out a wire through the Flying Dog email about the times not to call.
I should just turn that off.
I just hope everybody likes their boss at work. Because I hate that sound.
So speaking of the bee beer, I mean, I've heard, in the farming world, at least, there is a massive uproar about, like, we're losing a lot of hives this year. I know, shout out to one of the guys at the NCRS office up where I'm at, Ben Cooper. He's done a lot of research with bees, and he's always teaches classes and stuff like that. I mean, they're, like, really on the decline. So,
Yeah.
what...
So that was definitely Justin's thought when he came up
Cool.
with this beer. So Justin Tarnow, he's the dean of Flying Dog University. He knows a lot about beer. This is one of his pitches. It's like a farmhouse style ale, so it has that like yeasty, funky
Nice.
flavor to it, but it also has honey and it has pollen in it.
Nice.
So it gives it a nice.
So when she says yeasty, like let's go back to that and say, what is yeasty? Like it's not like
Okay,
a
so
not like the yeasty that you're thinking about. Like
Like a
more-
Scentsy candle.
What?
It's like a Scentsy candle.
like a Scentsy candle.
Yeah. Yeah, like yeasty is like a Scentsy candle except you break bread with it.
No,
So-
yeasty.
Yeast.
Yeah, yeasty.
Yeasty.
You bake bread with yeast.
Yeah, you do bake bread. So there's 4
So
ingredients.
farmhouse. So if we had Jasper here, which would be awesome from Lost Rhino. He is like a yeast wizard. But what he does is he goes around to like farms like this. He went to my farm, and they go down like into the root cellar where there's thousands of different kinds of yeast down there, and he'll actually take a sample, and then you guys have a freaking massive room with all your scientific
Yeah.
buddies that can go through and build all kinds of
Quality
different.
assurance.
Yeah, well, you know.
Our lab.
And you can build on these strands.
Girl.
So that's the cool thing about having like a farmhouse yeast is it's usually a lot different taste.
It has like a
on that.
funkier
Right.
note to it. So like,
Right.
just like it's like a Belgian strain.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the balance there is that funkiness with the sweet honey and the pollen. Just really makes nice beer. But that was definitely Justin's thought behind it. We are losing bees. Albert Einstein himself said that when bees perish, we have about 4 years to live. They're that vital to what we eat.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely a problem. We're trying to bring awareness to this. There's certain flowers that help with the bee population. They're called purple cone flowers that Justin has been handing seeds out to. They're late bloomers. So a lot of flowers bloom at the beginning of summer and then they kind of fade out in fall. These will bloom late in the season and they give bees more flowers to pollinate. So
Nice.
we're handing out packets of those at the brewery. We'd like
Where's
to.
my packet?
I don't have a pack with me. Danny wants some right now to plant.
I'm so concerned.
He hasn't met his gardening.
My wife
yet.
wants.
There's a lot of them right out here.
We're building a new house, and my wife wants me to get those. Have you seen the flower bombs? They're like wildflower, like little things like this, and you just freaking throw it, and it's a bomb, and it just like
So
and it
wildflowers
plants wild,
everywhere.
yeah.
And that'd be perfect for the
Yeah.
farm.
Oh,
Yeah.
just douse them out there.
No, so I mean it's definitely a problem. And bee beer is it is one of the brew house rarities. We have one more coming up later this year, sea salted caramel brown, which sounds amazing.
That does sound
I
good.
know, did you just stop me?
Yeah, I was all what?
But bee beer is it actually just came out on Wednesday. It's delicious. We sold a ton at the launch at the brewery. We launch all the brew house rarities at the brewery. We have a big party. Everyone's invited. So yeah, that's brew house rarities. So Matt Brophy did not want to talk about that. But that's definitely where they came from was his need to not hear everybody's opinion about
Nice.
what we should be brewing. So he was kind enough
And
to let us all have
and
it.
I was just sent an article by someone that said that from April 2015 to April 2016, they lost beekeepers. So like certified beekeepers lost 44% of their honeybee colonies
Yeah, it's
last
crazy.
year.
It's sell just equipment so that you can do this stuff in your backyard.
Yeah.
And it's really important, and everybody should pay attention to this because we won't be able to live without that population. And in dropping at 44%, I mean
Yeah, it's a
that's
little
really
scary.
really scary stuff. So come get the purple cone flowers. Go start your bee colony,
Heck yeah.
your hives, or whatever you do with those. I'm not sure.
Is this your
exactly. I don't
attempt to
do
make
myself
people
yet.
drink? It's just like that old meme that comes out that it's like, friggin', if you sit around and think right now, there are
Yeah.
over 400 volcanoes that are way past due time event. So yes, I do need a beer right
I
now.
am definitely drinking.
The
the
bees
rest-
are dying!
I'm
No.
definitely drinking the rest of the day.
Well, come get some.
I get my purple
I'd
flower!
like to try one of the pumpkin beers that you all have here.
Come on.
Since
here.
I'm
I'd like
in the
to pour it
audience,
in a glass,
I'm in the
though.
audience. Would
You can
love
see
to.
see the color. Is there?
I just want to point out, I recruited Heather because I thought she came with much more beer than 5 when she came into the place for the first
well,
day.
I'm sorry. I brought like.
I don't know if we have
6
any clear
cases.
glasses over
That
there.
was what you did for me last week. This is this week.
All right. Well, do you have a glass?
I don't think
Because I
we
would
have
like to pour it in a glass so
All right.
everybody can
Let
see
me
the.
run in the house and grab a
Yeah,
glass.
grab a good pint glass so
Yeah.
we can show it off here.
don't think
Do
we
we
got
have any
any.
more answers?
You had somebody,
There you go.
Matt Bucky just
There
asked,
you go.
is that beer or the pumpkin IPA?
This is the gourd
This is the
standard.
pumpkin IPA.
You wanna
This
put
is-
it in
Pumpkin
that?
IPA.
This is the gore.
That's not really clean. Sorry, I don't want to pour it. It's
I'm
gonna be more
Longhorn. I'll
foamy.
drink out of anything.
I don't know if you know about. If there's funky stuff in the glass, it's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
foam
gonna-
over and it's gonna look like I can't pour a beer and I'm gonna be embarrassed.
But that is not good.
Yeah,
Coming
you,
from a
you don't want to hurt your thing.
Yeah, so yeah, this is the pumpkin IPA, made with pumpkin from McCutcheon's, Frederick, Maryland, Hersbrucker, Hallertau hops. It's just a really good combination. I'm gonna go ahead and we have copy on all of our bottles. Shout out to Erin Weston,
Yeah.
our director of communication. She always puts these together. Sometimes it's a collaboration, but it says, "I know it's cheesy, but I feel great about tonight." Spelled like a cheese grate. We just have to keep in mind that if the clock gets hungry, it will go back 4, spelled like the number 4
Four.
seconds. But the bite can't stand alone because it's too tired. Too tired.
Two.
My one friend used to be addicted to soap, but he's clean now. And whatever the banana wears better be appealing. Seriously, this is going to be the gourd standard of parties.
Oh, I got you.
So lots of
She's
fun-
crafty.
Yeah.
She's crafty.
Yeah,
I'll
she's
give
a
it to
smart
her.
girl. Yeah.
For
But
sure.
there's always really fun stuff written on the bottles. So,
That's awesome.
man, Longhorn is taking a while.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a long
Like
walk from the
How
clubhouse to the
far
bank.
is your garage from
You
your
got,
house?
well, Longhorn's old, and you broke his kneecap and went, "Hey, Longhorn."
Hey, buddy.
There you go.
It's funny, we were just talking about it. Oh, we have a flying
Oh,
dog!
look at that.
Where's the one you was open?
My man, everybody drank all the beer. I gotta open
Can
another
you
one.
open this one for me, please?
Yeah.
Got the ring on. I got another.
No pressure.
Oh, what did you?
Oh.
No pressure.
Oh.
Pour the beer. Pour the beer.
Oh,
That
my.
scared me. I'm not gonna lie. That was
Look at
suspect as
that.
hell. I was
Perfect
good
pour.
job.
Perfect
Good
pour.
job.
Right there.
Yeah.
I'm a Cicerone beer server, certified.
There's a lot of men out there jealous of your husband right now. There you go. My wife would have spilled this shit all over the computer.
Oh, too funny.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's definitely dark for an IPA. The pumpkin, there's biscuit and like caramel malts in there, so it makes it a little darker. But that's also adds to the sweetness, this caramel malts. But yeah, nice little head on it. Delicious, good pumpkin beer that I feel should stick around for a long time.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think all the good ones will, like I said before.
Yeah.
So.
I think there's definitely a niche that would be filled.
4 minutes.
So did we pick a winner yet? I mean,
If
CJ.
nobody.
Yeah, we need to pick a
So
winner.
If I have any control as the director, nobody beats Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I
cannot go.
mean, I haven't found one yet because I think some people were commenting other places.
I see the
Our-
thug life picture now.
Our technical expert, AJ Bowman, who's went through 2 hours of training, did want to point out that you did pour that right over the recorder. He was like, that's a little suspect.
why we're professionals.
And
right,
until Jeremy
AJ?
Poland picks up this sponsorship for the radio show to advertise, we're on a constrained budget here, people. So we go with CJ?
Sorry, AJ, I will not pour over the recorder again. But yes, we're good with Sasquatch. I think that was creative. We
That's
didn't
it.
answer though, Solomon. What would your answer be?
Anything in nature. I mean, I would be a hot plant just because. I mean,
You get to make people happy
yeah,
eventually.
make people smile. I
Like,
smell
eventually-
freaking awesome. I get to stay like in the ground multiple times and come back. So you can just like chop my arm off and it grows next year, and then next year I can have more arms. So I mean, I'm pumped. I'm making beer. I'm
Yeah.
making things taste
Brute.
good.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to do
Right.
something
Groot.
like.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
We know what Lee would
Wrapping
be.
yourself up.
Lee would be Seymour.
Seymour. There it is.
I don't know. I would probably be some type of animal though.
Animal.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about bears because they hibernate, but like.
You know why being
I
a
like
bear
the
sucks?
weather, though.
You would be able
You
to
hate
do
the weather?
that.
I don't know. I like. Can I still snowboard as a bear though?
No.
So
Yeah.
like
You're
this needs
sleeping.
nothing to me.
Yeah.
You know why you can't be, what sucks about being a bear is that you have to eat pine cones to plug up your ass so that you make it through
Oh
the
my
winter.
god.
In
Yeah.
fact, could you imagine that first
I
go?
want to be a wolf. I just want to run around and do wolf things, tear
Yeah.
shit up.
Yeah, wolves,
Tear
they,
it up.
you always say somebody to talk to as a wolf, like your homeboy.
Wolves
Yeah.
are pretty. I mean, they're. I don't know if you've read it. But they're pretty.
You said dick.
Well, look, guys. I
Pretty
mean,
intricate animals, but yeah. So look, we want to thank Buffalo Wild Wings again for sponsoring our show.
heck yeah.
Join B-Dubs for Sammy Saturdays. Buy a regular Sam Lager and a burger for just $12.99 all day. Valid on Saturdays. Only at your local B-Dubs in Frederick, Urbana, Rockville, Gaithersburg, and Columbia. Wings, beer, sports. You have to be here. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. We're gonna sign off.
might be-
Next week we'll be back at 5 p.m., which is gonna be our time slot. You guys, if you guys have anything you guys want to hear us talk about, any beers you want reviewed, anything like that, hit us up on Facebook. We'll have a Twitter out this week and start railing on that. But thanks for sticking with us. Sorry about the rocky start, but
Technical
hey,
difficulties.
we're
but
getting
it's
there.
the first episode.
Yeah.
It's just gonna get better.
we're gonna iron this out and get it rolling. So I appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Oh.
Cheers.